One, go.
I thought we were recording. You didn't get all that?
It has been recording because it doesn't have the...
So you like to fake me out there?
No, usually when you start those things, it does like a flash.
3, 2, 1, yeah.
No, it does just as a flash until you hit record again, but for some reason it didn't do it that time. I think it's because it's on stamina mode.
So did it get the...
yeah, it's there,
motor?
but I'm going to cut it out.
What? I don't think you will.
That wasn't our strongest intro.
It wasn't.
You have been talking up how you were going to do something to me.
Oh, I'm saving it for the long podcast.
For the long? Okay, that's fine. That's okay.
So if you're listening right now, stay tuned for our next one when I will roast Beau like a marshmallow.
Oh.
See what I did there?
More? You want some more? Some more what?
And if you want some more of our podcast,
follow us on the socials.
Subscribe. Send us a direct message. Once Upon a Tome 22 at Gmail. Once Upon a Tome 22 on Twitter and Insta. Do you post our episodes on Instagram?
I pretty much just state like, hey, new episode, go find it.
But you don't post a link or anything? Can't you do that on Instagram? I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, but it just takes a lot of time to me.
So what you're saying is
I just send
lazy.
a picture of me editing it, or I send a picture of like the actual, once it's uploaded, I'll send a screenshot and I'll post it on the story.
But no actual link.
There's a reason why we probably haven't like increased our following, but it is a good following. I am proud of it.
I'd say from the Instagram standpoint, that's on you because you run it.
Hey, I've made some strides with the Instas.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, so if you're...
Am I ready to be done for the school year? Yes.
Yes. My boys are going to state tennis right here next week.
Are they going to be state champs?
Some of them could be. Like
the band?
I think all of them state champs. Oh, that is a band, ain't it?
It's a pretty good band.
Better than the band.
Oh, wow. Okay. They came to Red Flag about a year ago.
No, yeah, because you sent me a link to that saying we should go.
I didn't go. I've only listened to one of their albums, but it's a decent album.
I don't know. I haven't gone back to it in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. Most of the pop punk bands go to Red Flag, and
it's either pop punk or like death metal, with the occasional, Purity Ring came there.
Did they really?
Yeah, I was in Belize. I would have gone.
Oh, I love Purity Ring.
And then, they're so good. Devil Wears Prada came a few weeks ago.
They're
so
lame.
wish I could have came to that show.
Nah, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You didn't miss out on much.
What, did you go?
No, but I can tell you that Devil Wears Prada is not that great.
No. Their latest album is incredible. I've been listening to it nonstop. I've been listening to it for over a year.
Why is that?
It's so good. I can't really... I mean, the way they blend, like, the screaming and the singing, it's just like... It's a beautiful album. They just released the extended version, the deluxe version of Color Decay. 2 new songs. Oh my gosh. If I could play it on here, I would.
Yeah, that's a copyright thing.
Yep. I will post a link to one of their songs.
I've been listening and revisiting a lot of the Gorillaz. You like the Gorillaz?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't heard much of their stuff. And to be fair,
I
think it's just Gorillaz, isn't it? It's not.
It is, but I didn't want to make. I didn't want you to say like or think I'm talking about like I've been listening to Gorillaz as in.
You've been listening
just gorilla noises,
sounds of
like the rainforest or something.
But no,
I didn't want any confusion.
No, at the very least, the latest Devil Wears Prada album is fantastic. I listened to some of the early stuff. Not a huge fan.
I think you should listen to Empire Ants by Gorillaz.
Okay, how about this? I'll listen to that if you listen to Ignorance by Devil Wears Prada.
Bet. That's a good idea.
Boom.
You'll see my philosophy of life hidden in that song.
Yeah.
It's kind of devastating.
Oh, you know what we could do? We could put a poll on Facebook. Which song is better?
I think it would be unanimously Empire Ants.
It wouldn't be unanimous because I would vote for ignorance.
Let's be real. It's only going to be us two
And
voting.
here you go. You ready for this?
Actually, I don't have a Facebook, so.
Are you ready for your brain to explode?
Yeah.
So Devil Wears Prada. To the outside ear, it sounds like another Screamo band. Their lyrics are very deep, though. Such as, there's a song called Time, and one of the lines is, I've been thinking about this all year. It might even make my newsletter. It goes, time's moving like a... Wait. Time moves like a... Shoot, I can't remember the line. I'm getting it mixed up. There's like two.
Wait.
Wait.
Newsletter.
Yeah. No, it goes, time moves like a landslide. Time shifts like a glacier. So it's like the dichotomy of time.
Oh, good word.
It moves fast and slow at the same time.
Time is relative. I told a kid that the other day.
Yeah, you told me it too. I think our last podcast. Well, part one of the Gaddis.
I think about it a lot. It's a problem I have.
No, but let me read you some of these lyrics from this song, if I get service in here. Yeah, there's a lot of dead space because I don't have it up.
It's okay. We'll trust our listeners to go out. Wow, I actually did cut myself on the thing.
Yeah.
There's some blood. No big deal.
Yeah, it says, time's moving like lightning. My bad.
Gosh.
I know.
You were thinking of Stevie Nicks.
Yeah. So it says, time's moving like lightning. Time shifts like a glacier. It's the opposites that I can't accept. This collision, certain death.
Time is like lightning, eh? Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Time is like lightning.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
I'm thinking too deeply.
That's like the chorus. But it starts off, there's something I can't share. It's just too hard to explain. I'm barely holding on. It happens every day. Like a desperate dream that never goes away. I'm barely holding on. I'm lost in the wake. Oil floats within the water, soon to be set aflame. Time's moving like lightning. Time shifts like a glacier. It's the opposites that I can't accept. This collision, certain death. Very deep.
Good refrain. Yes. I'm probably overanalyzing it in my head, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Honestly, that's probably the longest intro I've ever had for a brief inquiry.
It probably is the most serious one, too.
Probably. Maybe. Are you going to cut it? Maybe not.
No. Knowing the singer of Devil Wears Prada is going to be like, I know this new podcast and they're name dropping our band.
Boom. They're a big band, like seriously.
I know. They've been around since I was in high school.
Yeah.
That was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, I remember I didn't actually see them, but when I went to Warped Tour, they were there.
Nice. Yeah. Seems like a Warped Tour band.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you ready?
I am as ready as can be.
All right, so if you're new and you've withstanded the long rant about the Devil Wears Prada. Withstood.
Withstanded is not a word.
Hey, man.
You call yourself a literary nut? Literary genius?
I didn't say I was a genius.
A literature fan?
Hey, my bad. If you have,
withstood
the test of Devil Wears Prada, and you don't know what brief inquiry into literary relationships is, one of us reads or gives off a number 1 through whatever, usually 3, but today you have 4, and I'm asking Brett. Brett has to pick the number. I read the quote off, and he pontificates for a little bit about what it means to him.
Can I interrupt you
guesses.
for a sec?
Fine.
Can you time out?
Yeah.
So this was actually what I was going to start with, but I forgot about it.
Oh, come on. We can't backtrack now.
It's going to be a short story.
Time is a lightning, and it has struck.
No.
We must move on.
It's a funny one.
No, it's not.
How do you know? You don't know what I'm about to say.
It's going to be a dad joke.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
So I was listening to an interview with Devil Wears Prada. And so the guy the band member who named the band, he's not with them anymore because they're interviewing guys who they're later on. And the guy named it The Devil Wears Prada after the book, thinking the book was going to be about an anti-materialism and all that. And then eventually, he never had actually read it. And then like
Right.
years later, the band read it, and they're like, "Oh no, it's completely the opposite."
Yeah, but I bet you they all like Anne Hathaway.
Who doesn't?
That's true.
Yeah, I'm more of a Jennifer Connelly guy myself.
Yeah, gal. Okay, here we go.
and you can tell we're in the end of the school year when my brain might be two brain cells alive still.
And we teach the Utes.
And
You're
anyways,
welcome.
Back to you, Beau.
All right. There's one here that I really want you to pick, so I'm really hoping you pick it.
You got 4 options, right?
4 options, 1 through 4.
I'm gonna go with 1 since you said there's one. I want you to pick.
Yes.
What was that voice? Oh.
I can do that. I can do that thing where like
where you're in a screamo band?
no, but half of my vocal cord can
Yeah.
like rasp, and the other one does a different noise. It's like an ancient monk technique.
Dude, you should be the lead singer of a band.
I can't because when I was a singer, I can only croon. If you ever notice, if you look at the decibels on these things when I'm editing, you will notice that my microphone doesn't reach yours, and I have to do a lot of weird stuff. So there's always a audio gap between you and me.
I do have a very deep voice.
I have a very quiet voice.
You do. You're very soft. Dare I say pansy voice?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time I've been told that. All right.
Okay, number 1. Hit me with it.
Whenever I find myself growing grim about the mouth, whenever it is a damp, drizzly November in my soul, whenever I find myself involuntarily pausing before coffin warehouses and bringing up the rear of every funeral I meet, and especially whenever my, hippos get such an upper hand of me that it requires a strong moral principle to prevent me from deliberately stepping into the street and methodically knocking people's hats off. Then I account it high time to get to sea as soon as I can. You should know this one.
It sounds very, very familiar.
There's going to be some snob out there, some precious big fan of ours who knows we've talked about this. You specifically.
David Foster Wallace.
Nope. Not that episode.
John Kennedy Toole.
No, not even close. It is in your top 10 somewhere.
Oh, so I should know. I mean, the sounded familiar. It's not John Williams, is it? Stoner?
Nope.
Oh, gosh. Guy or girl?
Guy.
Give me a hint. Another one.
Gregory Peck played in one of the many adaptations of this book. It was directed by, I think, a John Huston. Has one of the most memorable opening lines of any book.
Well, it's not Moby Dick. That's
It
Call
is
Me
Moby
Ishmael.
Dick, you dingus.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
The reason I didn't think it was that because there wasn't any like dusts and shouts and all that like most of the book is.
What do you mean?
Like the vernacular of the time was people would say, "Oh, thou hast done that to thee," and all that. It's written very much like a.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what I got.
No, that was good.
I mean, I have an extra one that layers on top of that.
Yeah.
But let's think about the first quote first.
Yeah, read it again for me.
All right.
So I can process it again.
Whenever I find myself growing grim about the mouth, whenever it is a damp, drizzly November in my soul, whenever I find myself involuntarily pausing before coffin warehouses and bringing up the rear of every funeral I meet, and especially whenever my, I think it's hypos, get such an upper hand of me that it requires a strong moral principle to prevent me from deliberately stepping into the street and methodically knocking people's hats off. Then I count it high time to get to sea as soon as I can.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's the theme. Well, one of the themes of that book is like, man's escape to the sea to escape reality and life on the terrain, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've never really read the book pretty much, so
You should.
I know. But from what I'm gathering, I think everyone reaches that point where they need that isolation,
Oh, yeah.
and then you start thinking about the loneliness of being surrounded by multiple people. And the only way that you could probably find any sort of happiness is being far secluded from the inhabitants of the land. No man is an island alone.
No man is an island.
But here, let me add to it.
Yep.
Consider the subtleness of the sea, how its most dreaded creatures glide underwater, unapparent for the most part, and treacherously hidden beneath the loveliest tints of azure. Consider also the devilish brilliance and beauty of many of its most remorseless tribes, as the dainty embellished shape of many species of sharks. Consider once more the universal cannibalism of the sea, all whose creatures prey upon each other, carrying on eternal war since the world began. Consider all this, and then turn to the green, gentle, and most docile earth. Consider them both, the sea and the land. And do you not find a strange analogy to something in yourself? For all this appalling ocean surrounds the verdant land, so in the soul of man there lies one insular Tahiti, full of peace and joy, but encompassed by all the horrors of the half-known life. God keep thee. Push not off from that isle. Thou canst never return.
Yeah. That passage I recognize.
Yeah.
Because basically what he's getting at is, one of the themes is like the sea in and of itself is like a metaphor for just life. It's just like there's everything is there. Things eat each other. There's brashness. There's beauty. There's ugliness. There's like everything, and in some ways that's kind of comparison to life on the earth.
Yeah. Do you think that the hunt for the whale, Moby Dick, right? Do you think it's more of a metaphorical hunt than anything? Like a Freudian type thing?
Well, I definitely think, I think Freudian would imply it would be sexual.
I guess, yeah. Jungian analysis. If you were to give a Jungian analysis to Moby Dick, what exactly would you say?
Well, I would say, I think, he was after the whale for revenge.
But what is the whale? Because there's a lot of people that say, we each have our own.
Yeah, everybody has their own whale in a metaphorical sense. Just their own little thorn in the side that they just can't let go of. You will go crazy. Literally, Captain Ahab, he was literally crazy.
Right.
And the quest to get that whale legitimately made him crazy.
Do you feel like you have your own whale?
I'm sure I do. Off the top of my head, I don't know what it is, but
I think I would have one that drives me absolutely nuts. It's the questions and the thirst for reaching all knowledge and understanding of, the universe, the way reality is, and all those sorts of things. It bugs me to death.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'll just sit there and think about it.
Yeah.
I'll be eating green beans and be like, it's traveled all the way here, mass produced for my pleasure. And be like, wow, it grew on Earth. And then I'll have something that's processed and be like, wow, this was just distributed and made of gunk. What is life? Why are we addicted to Doritos and not green beans?
It's a great question.
I don't know why. I don't even know why that's my tangent. There's no correlation of the same thing.
I'm trying to think what mine is. The thing that I can't really let go of, or a thing. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the end of the school year, but it's just kids being idiots.
God, I hope you don't play this episode in your classroom. They're gonna be like, "Whoa!"
Oh, I have not referenced any specific names. I have off
Yeah,
when
of
we're not
course.
recording, but
here, I think, like one of the brilliant things about Moby Dick, from someone who hasn't read it, like just like its stature and its history and all that, right?
can I insert something real quick?
Go for it.
This is like in Metropolitan when they're having the conversation.
Yeah, I've never read Jane Austen. I've just read I
read literary criticism.
literary criticism.
That way,
You
I
get
know what
somebody's-
happens and on someone else's opinion.
Yeah, and then you bargain it off as your own.
But anyways, go ahead. For the record, watch Metropolitan.
Yeah.
1991. Whit Stillman.
What
Huge influence
Stillman?
on Noah Baumbach, Wes Anderson. So he was like the first one. So if you like Wes Anderson, you like Noah Baumbach, watch Whit Stillman.
I think it must be a completely isolating experience in order to figure that the sea is your home. As in, you can't even articulate or share human qualities with anyone else. That the only thing that you can find is,
Yeah.
some sense of the world through the metaphor of the sea. Like I can't imagine about Melville's life, because he was pretty much obscure for the most part, right? Like Moby Dick was not well received, and he was written off.
Yeah, I think when he died, none of his work was published, or
Like he was cannibalized in a sense because of his books. Like they just tore him to pieces, and he's just like, you're one of nature, just like any of these beasts that have been here longer than any of us are going to be breathing. And there's things down there that not even we understand.
Yeah.
Still, even to this day.
Yeah.
The Kraken is just the giant squid.
Yeah.
Think about
Well, I
that.
think- Well, when you said that, it makes me think of the Seattle Kraken, their intro.
Oh, I was thinking of the Kraken.
Liqueur?
No, the Kraken ride at SeaWorld.
Oh.
Or the Kraken
I've
and
never been to
Johnny
SeaWorld.
Depp's Pirates of the Caribbean.
But what I was getting at.
Go for it.
No, I mean, just like, have you ever read Perfect Storm?
I've seen the movie.
Okay. But anyways, just basically it gives it good insight into like the way sailors are.
Mhm.
Like people where they're like their full-time living is just being on boats. Like sailors, like there is a screw loose. Like you have to be wired a certain way to have that be your full-time profession, like be okay with it. 'Cause, I mean, they go out at sea for months at a time.
Mm-hmm.
They may come back, you get, I don't know, a month or so free time, and then they're back out again. Like, so like, if you have a family, it's not possible.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking like people who like, go out and fish every morning. Like, I'm talking people who are like legitimately out at sea, like for months at a time.
Mm-hmm. To maybe connect these two quotes, but even I myself feel like in order for me to escape my own, sense of where I am in my life, like I feel like I, just like whoever's speaking here, I don't know who's speaking here, but I as well would like antagonize and push people away, because that's what makes sense. In order for me to feel like I can move on or go on, I have to, push people aside in a sense. So I feel more isolated and I feel vindicated in that way. Do you ever get that way?
I think sometimes, I mean, if I'm understanding you correctly, like you're saying, when you want to focus on a topic, whatever it is, you can't be distracted by other people.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've
So
been
we're
there.
talking about the November of my soul or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about, like the coffin warehouses. Like I'm thinking about death, and I'm thinking about the next person I see that talks to me weirdly, I'm just going to pop their hat off.
Yeah.
Oh,
do you think he was saying pop their hat off in like a frustration way?
What do you think? Methodically knocking people's hats off. Do you think he's just talking about just being offended by how they are, this society in which he's living in. Because if he's methodically knocking people's hats off, I think he's talking about a higher class of person compared to whoever the narrator is. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
I was thinking, my initial thought was just kind of like playfully just knocking them off.
Well, yeah, but in a sense, antagonizing them. Because then you would be the nut, and then you would be offending them if you just knocked off their hat.
Yeah.
Because I imagine, and this is the time of top hats where people are just like, to, boast about their wealth, they'll just wear Abraham Lincoln style hats.
Yeah, I mean, that's style of the day, though.
I wish that was a thing still. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't at all, actually. I like my baseball caps and visors. Say it.
I can't say what I'm thinking right now. It would not be appropriate. But no, I mean, I guess it makes sense when I hear it again that he would do it out of kind of frustration and kind of mocking in a way.
Right. I don't know. It also makes me think of the song Brandy. Let's say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. Such a fine girl.
Not ringing a bell.
You don't know that one? It was pretty big a few years ago because it was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Dude, it's a great song.
I don't watch those movies.
I know you don't. But you should listen to that song, and that's what it makes me think of.
I'll look it up. Maybe
It makes me have a happy memory.
We'll add that to our poll. We'll have Devil Wears Prada song. We'll have what's your song?
The one I just named, or
no, the one before.
Oh, Empire Hands.
Empire Ants, and we'll have Brandy.
Most people are gonna say Brandy. That song is a banger, straight freaking banger, bro. Slaps, on God.
Let me get my
no cap, bro.
Let me get my protein, bro.
Yo, Mr. Hendricks, let me leave class so I can get some protein, bro. You really gonna make me miss out on my gains, bro? Come on, bro.
Yes, I will.
Yes, because you're only benching 135 and you're not a real man.
Boom. But yeah, back to the
back on course here.
We've been gotten off topic a lot this time.
I think it's just because we're woozy.
Well, yeah, we're tired. End of the school year. What was I gonna say though? No, I think you should definitely read Moby Dick.
Well, I definitely want to. I want to just find a good copy of it because every time we've been to bookstores, they always have this weird edition that's either like ripped apart more than any of the books that I own, or the cover is like really cheesy.
Yeah.
Or it's like really small print. I don't know. I've never found a delicious looking copy. Delectable to my eyes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say my copy is. I mean, the cover's not great, but it's hardcover, so it kind of doesn't really matter in my opinion.
Right.
But yeah, it's a great novel, especially when you think about it and like the grandiosity of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost like the recognitions in that sense. Like it covers everything.
Yeah. I'm looking at the last.
And the last 30
here.
pages are incredible.
That's what you say. But there's a lot of asides about whale blubber and the anatomy of whales and whaling.
You will be an expert in 19th century whaling after you read the book.
Why do you think all that information is in there? Do you think like in The Whale, starring Brendan Fraser, where he like his daughter writes the essay? Oh shoot, spoilers. When you get to the moment when you realize what essay he's reading, and they're talking about, he must have just kept adding that in there because his own sense of life was depressing and he didn't want to go back to his own reality. Because then in a way you're reading that book for a different reason. Melville's life is now a part of the art.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like David Foster Wallace. He's writing that big, arduous book because, why do you think? As we know now.
Well, I mean, I'd have to do some more research into Melville. As for example, I don't know if he'd attempted writing and publishing other things before Moby Dick.
Right.
or if that was one of his earlier works. Because if it was one of his earlier works,
when was Billy Budd? When did that come out?
I don't know.
I'd look it up later.
But I think, if Moby Dick was one of his earlier works, I would probably say no, because he was a whaler. He whaled for a while.
He was wailing for a while.
Just
wailing on him.
Just like Jimi Hendrix. Oh!
What?
Yeah, wailing on the guitar. Woodstock.
Oh, I was going to say Janis Joplin just wailing the singer.
But I would say if it was later in his career when he'd already been rejected by publishers, then yeah, I could see that being a part of it. Like his search for like meaning in life, his search for what's the word? Like his search for like recognition, his search for promise, his search for validity, maybe if it was one of his later works, maybe he saw himself in Ahab, and the whale was like his career, like his writings.
There we go. Very well could be. Now we're digging deeper here. Now we're digging it out. Yeah. I'm looking at the last couple of lines here. For as this appalling ocean surrounds the verdant land, so in the soul of man there lies one insular Tahiti, full of peace and joy, but encompassed by all the horrors of the half-known life. God keep thee.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like what we're talking about. There's a wire, and that, it's kind of justifying the act of just going away. Oh.
Yeah.
No more. I'm not going to sign back in. As in, no matter how much we can find recognition on this earth, on land here, we fully don't know most of what's surrounding us at all. Even if we're surrounded by people, we don't know. Each man's an island upon himself.
Well, it's like,
you can't find meaning through other people. It's only deep down here. Yeah, and if you leave here, if you leave yourself, you'll never return the same.
No, it's kind of like, you hear it in medicine all the time. Like, we don't really have any idea what's going on with the body. Like, there's still so many facets of the human body that nobody understands.
I feel like most people don't understand anything. Just a bunch of boys playing grown-ups.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, I remember, who said it? I want to say it was Jordan Peterson.
Oh God!
No. Wait. But he said, I think it was him. But he said a line where it's like, the greatest tragedy in life is that when you grow up, you realize that adults are just kids. Like, because we know when you're a kid, you think adults, they have everything together.
Yeah,
But when you become an adult, you realize we don't.
I'll top that. In Buddhism, that is an ancient, old saying. Is one of the hardest lessons to learn in life is that the entire time where you felt safe, your parents were just children playing house. Yeah. Or, in some way like that. Like, that's a hard lesson to swallow. And you start looking at your parents as, for me, I just want to protect my parents as much as possible because now they're all fragile in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the older you get, the more you look at them as like peers.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I love my folks.
Boom. Ditto.
Maybe I'll just end it on there. These quotes make me feel lonely, and I love my folks.
Well, you know what, Beau? I love you, buddy.
I love you too.
You know what I think? To conquer your fear of the sea?
What?
We should go on a cruise.
No. My dad did that already, and he likes to make fun of me because I still say I'll never do it again.
Oh, you've actually been on a cruise?
Yeah, when I was a freshman in high school.
Oh, I thought you were just afraid of it, like you were afraid of flying.
Oh, yeah. For all of those who don't know, I do not like open water. I've been on a cruise, scared the daylights out of me the entire time. I just kind of listened to music and just stayed near the middle of the boat.
Yeah.
When I was 7 years old, I tricked my blessed grandfather, I'm his namesake, into letting me watch Jaws. And that terrified me.
What about a river cruise? Would that change it?
I would really want to read Huckleberry Finn at that point.
I'm talking like a European river cruise, like a Viking cruise.
Oh, a Viking cruise? If I don't see open ocean, then I guess that's fine. I'll just be really seasick.
I think
Like,
I think you mean river sick. Whoa!
I love doing when I've been in Chicago. I love doing river tours, even though Emma makes fun of me for it being touristy.
I mean, it is in the word.
I know, but like, you look like you're not from Chicago, which is like fine. I'm not from Chicago, but the architecture is incredibly beautiful, and I love going up and down the river. And then you have to go on Lake Michigan, and I'm just like, all right.
Do you wear a fanny?
Turn the boat now, Edmund Fitzgerald. Turn down the boat.
Do you wear a fanny pack when you do that?
Heck no.
And then with a shirt that says Chicago.
No. The last time I was there was in February, and there was one riverboat tour.
Yeah.
And me and my friends all looked like we were from Chicago.
Okay.
Because everyone is in like parkas and like huge coats, and I'm in like a White Sox jersey.
Okay.
And we're just chilling, and you know, our boy Wheeler's in a tank top. Like we looked like we were from there. It was pretty nice. I felt cool.
Yeah, you want to hear something sad about cruises?
Yeah.
I just learned.
What?
So I always kind of wanted to like fish off a cruise ship.
You can't.
I read an article saying that someone tried to do that and they got arrested and kicked off and banned for life.
See? Not worth it. So many rules and regulations. It's not all fun.
Yeah.
And then you're secluded with people you probably won't even like. They're annoying. And you're just landlocked with them on a moving target.
Well, I mean, not if you do like a 7 or 8 day cruise. I mean, yeah, 4-day cruise. We're only off the ship for 8 hours. Yeah.
I'm not doing a cruise. I'll do a riverboat tour.
What about a Cardinals cruise?
Yeah. We could go. We could do the steamboat tour. You know, let's make our way down the Merrily River.
I say we do it on a replica raft like Lincoln did.
Okay.
Should be extremely safe.
I like that. Maybe I'll read Huckleberry Finn again.
Yeah, I need to too.
It's been a while since I read it.
Or I need to as well.
It seems like that's a good like early summer book.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we'll start Proust here in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll finish Tropic of Cancer. And I think I'm going to read Pale Fire.
Speaking of the sea, once I read Blood Meridian,
yeah,
which we might have to do an episode of me just ranting about Blood Meridian.
Will it be bloody?
Oh, yeah. Bloody and rare. Raw.
Just like my steak.
Exactly. But I'm also going to be reading The Sea by John Banville once I'm done with Blood Meridian.
Nice.
Pretty great. And then maybe Mark Twain. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you reading?
I just told you.
Other than Proust.
Well, I'm finishing Tropic of Cancer.
Oh, that's right. Tropic of Cancer, yeah.
And then I'm going to read Pale Fire.
And Pale Fire.
Because according to a lot of lists of Nabokov's works, it's like his best one.
I thought people considered Lolita his best one.
That's his most famous.
Oh.
But
See,
like,
I've never read Nabokov.
You never read Nabokov?
No, we've talked about
this. Oh,
this.
that's right. You have to read Nabokov.
Book by Nabokov. Don't stand.
But no, so I'm going to read Pale Fire. Because I don't want to only read Proust. I need to be reading something else.
True.
So
I also want to read Gilead by Marilyn Robinson. I've heard nothing but great things, and I've owned it for like a year now. I think I might do that.
Okay.
Have you ever heard about that one?
No.
I think it'd be right up your alley. Let me read it, and if I like it, then I'm gonna be like,
when was it published?
A while ago, long time ago.
Okay.
As in not like long time ago, but 40, 30 years maybe.
Okay.
I think.
So it's
quote me on that.
somewhat to the test of time.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Well, this is a little bit longer brief inquiry, depending on how you edit this, Beau. How much of our...
we're looking at 40 minutes already.
Jeez. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it'll just be an...
Nope, it's a brief inquiry. We're making it brief.
It'll be like a outlier in our briefs.
A brief, not so brief inquiry. It
Boom.
is an inquiry.
That's the title of it. Boom.
And not so brief. All right.
And that's a wrap. I'm Brett.
I'm Beau.
We'll talk to you later.
Have a nice day. Bye.